Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage. Now, fellas, tell me why it took 2 hours to get the 60 seconds.
I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that this was one Kevin Costner away from being Postman 2. The Postman Rides Again.
Oh man, could you imagine Kevin Costner in Nick Cage's place? This movie would get real fucking boring.
Just out of curiosity, whose pick was this? Was this you, Eric?
This was mine. I like this movie. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is not a good movie. And there's a point in this movie where it finally realizes what the kind of movie it wants to be, but like an hour and a half too late. I kind of tuned in for Nick Cage, and I got like a wild ride in that last half hour.
I'll tell you, I'd seen this movie once or twice back in the day, probably not once since I graduated high school. I remember kind of enjoying it. I remember it being a pretty good movie. I actually like this quite a bit. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. It was a fun ride, but like there's a lot of little things. We'll talk about it.
We're gonna have to call that cringe.
There's a lot of cringe. Like there's so many first takes in here and just so much visible confused ad lib that just doesn't work, but that's part of the magic of this movie.
It's the magic,
watching it and going, this is a fucking train wreck, and I'm enjoying it.
Now, you said there was a lot of visible confusion. To add to this little sprinkle of magic, there's a lot of visible uncomfortableness between actors in this movie, and I was having giggle after giggle of like everybody not wanting to be around Nick Cage.
Oh yeah? Honestly, I didn't really pay attention to any of that, but if you guys have like instances, I'd love to go back and like really see what you're talking about with that.
Any and all scene with Nick Cage and Angelina Jolie.
100%. You will get to see when they're forced to be together in the makeout scene, there's still zero fucking chemistry. It's beyond awkward. But the best one is when they're sitting in the car, and it will do this thing to where it's looking over his shoulder or looking over her shoulder. Filmed in that way she never has to be in the car with him.
I wonder if it's like a composite shot. Like they were just never filming on the same day because it got so weird. Because there is like one little bit amongst other bits where like they had just kissed and Nick Cage is really pining for more makeout scene. And she's just like, listen, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he starts beating on the steering wheel and it seems real.
Like, hey, come on, Angie. I got a little blue balls going here.
You know, because think about it. His ego is, I'm fucking Nicolas Cage. Why isn't she into this? Because she's like, deuces. I did what I had to do for the scene. Now I'm fucking gone.
You don't want this, Angie? First of all, stop calling me Angie.
He does seem like the kind of guy that just gives off like random nicknames. You're like, dude, my name's George or whatever.
Now you're Bones. You're Bones. Come on, Bones.
He's just fucking shilling off people and just giving them Star Trek nicknames and shit.
Oh, nice. Spock, get over here. He's just referring to him as that in the film.
So we know this movie revolves sort of around Nicolas Cage, but we don't get to him until like, 25 minutes in? This movie starts out with like a motley crew of guys that aren't really all that professional, but they're doing it, right?
I guess so. I was kind of secondhand embarrassed because, you know, I like heist movies. I like car movies. But like these like Joe Blow nobodies roll into a Ferrari shop. And these guys are supposed to be associated with the best boosters of all time. And they just like throw a rock through the door and just take the car. I'm just like, I am not impressed.
He's like, what are you doing? I'm getting my tools. That's not tools. That's a rock.
All the while, we were being bombarded by bring Sally up, bring Sally down. We paid for the song. We're going to play it the whole fucking time.
Ass thing. Dude, the tonal change makes no sense. Because it's like, oh, fast and exciting music. Oh, this is like if Michael Bay directed Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh, back to exciting stealing stuff now. I'm just like, what?
But this crew that we have here, we got Giovanni Rabisi. I wouldn't have known that guy by name, but I know him as being Phoebe's brother on Friends, but he's also Scarlett Johansson's husband, I want to say, in Lost in Translation. Just one of those random character actors where you're like, it's that guy.
Yeah, I really enjoy him from The Postman and also from Ted and Ted 2.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't remember where I'd seen him before because, like, the way he is in this movie just comes off like a proto Jesse from Breaking Bad.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. But we've also got Scott Conn, who I know is Tweeter from Varsity Blues. We also talked about him in, what was that movie that we talked about wrestling?
Ready to Rumble?
Ready to Rumble with David Arquette. Yes, sir. He is definitely a Hollywood fucking R-lister.
R-lister? Oh my God. I mean, like, it could have been him or, came out in 2000? Him or Devin Siwa. I mean, it's either or.
But we've also got James Duvall. He's in the crew, who I know is Frank from Donnie Darko, just minus the bunny suit. He was also in Independence Day, which we talked about earlier this year.
Man, the whole gang's here.
Not all, because we got another one who has shown up. This is his 4th appearance on Beards and Brews. We've got Will Patton, star of Armageddon, Entrapment, The Fourth Kind, which we go check out all of those casts. Now he's here in Gone in 60 Seconds.
And boy, he does his best. I'm looking just past the camera to read my lines impression.
You want to talk about doing an impression? He's doing his best. I look like a homeless Phil Collins impression.
Dude, he can feel it in the air tonight.
Oh, like this guy, like I like this guy from what I've seen, but he seems like he kind of plays the same character in every role. He's just like this, I don't know. This guy wears Carhartt, but unironically. That's all I'm saying.
It's
nice. So these are the little cast guys we got running around at the moment, and they're stealing cars, and they fuck it up because, hey man, I like your bitch. And then they get chased by the cops.
If anybody's played Grand Theft Auto, and you actually have to Grand Theft an auto, you try really, really hard not to get the cops on your tail. And that was like what he set out to do. Is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just like, I've immediately stolen this Porsche, like right directly out of the showroom. Hey, there's a cute blonde in this car next to me. I'm going to talk shit and then start an illegal street race.
The way he came off was like he's on something, like the entire time.
Maybe he was. Maybe the actor was just like, I don't have anything to do. I'm going to do some meth today. Oh, we're shooting? Fuck, that was a bad decision. All right, I'll be there.
Dude, better do it anyway.
I can't go with that just because I think that Giovanni is the only one in this fucking movie who showed up.
Like, as a legitimate actor?
Yes.
Like, we went over this a little bit before we start recording, and like, if that's the case, then wow. Because this dude is greasy. Like, he is just so skis. Like, I'm just like, this dude is just like not reputable at all.
He does a really good job at playing just like a scummy kind of guy who doesn't have any cares. Like, he doesn't actually care about this. It's like, oh shit, I've got this mob boss or whatever on my tail. Like, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna throw me in fucking a car crusher. It's cool. I'll go down there and talk to him tomorrow, but I'm gonna nap for a little bit.
Oh man, that nonchalantness was getting on my nerves because, like you said, he was just about to get crushed, and we'll get to it. Nick Cage is his brother and everything, and he just plays it off so smooth, like, I just almost got crushed today. It's just Thursday, man. Let me take a.
Just need a 15-minute power nap. No big deal. Oh, Greg ain't gonna kill me till Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm just really tired because I've been up for 4 days because I'm on meth.
Exactly. And why was he up for 4 days? Well, not because of the meth, but he also had to steal 50 cars.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that many to start out with until, Big Brother shows up, but that's a little ways down the line, right? We still have a little ways.
Well, no, apparently he was extremely close to finishing this like outstanding objective. Like, he almost had all of them. And then he decides to just go on this Joe Blow cruise, get hit by the cops, and this whole shebang just falls apart. So, insert Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. But what does matter is we've got another star coming in, Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, Tim Elephant. And he's a detective, and they're down on the docks roughing up some guy at the fish market. Dude, why?
I don't know. They do it so much in the movie where it's just like good cop. Oh, no, it's not even good cop. It's just like new cop, bad cop through the whole movie. It's just ridiculous. It's like, hey, man, don't you know that's against the rules? And the other guy's just like, yeah. And he's like, huh, you're right. And he just continues beating the shit out of whoever they have.
I don't know. And here's the thing. Timothy Olyphant plays like, is he like the lead detective? Because I see him more than I see his partner, but it seems like his partner is doing the most of the talking. Like, what's his name? Castlebeck. He's supposed to be the foil to this whole situation. Not necessarily like the lead antagonist, but the foil. But I'm never actually rooting against him. He's just so damn charming.
Oh, He does kind of fall in love with Nick Cage's character like halfway through the movie. He's like, wow, he's the best. Wow.
You really are good. I'll catch you later. And then I'm gonna fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's that dude from Roadhouse. He just has a hard-on for Nick Cage.
I fucked guys like you in prison. I was never in prison, but I did fuck some guys like you.
Yuck.
Can we just drag that scene out as long as possible?
Just keep it going. Now, at the fish market, they hassle some guy to get information about Nicolas Cage because people have been stealing cars, and that can only mean that it's Nicolas Cage. Meanwhile, he's meeting up with his mama at Shoney's to get her blessing to come out of retirement like the John Wick of cars.
Yeah. Will Patton shows up to Nick's job where he's driving, like he's helping some kids, learn to play go-karts or whatever, living a wholesome life. Will Patton shows up and is like, hey, your brother fucked up. You're kind of the only person who can like unfuck this up. So we need you to come back or else he's probably going to die.
Like that's, if I had like a solid complaint about this movie, is the fact that like getting to the point to bring Nick Cage back and getting the band back together takes way too fucking long.
And there is no reason to bring Mom into this at all. Mom doesn't need to be a character. Mom doesn't need to be mentioned.
Well, I don't know. I kind of want some Shoney's now.
For
real.
Do
you? Shoney's fucking gross. I don't care. Shoney, sponsor us. You're fucking gross, but sponsor us.
Jesus.
But Nick Cage wants to go and bail his brother out just by paying 10 grand. This is over 10 fucking grand. Stupid. He goes up, he's like, oh, here's the 10 grand. Everything's okay, right? And he starts to throw a little bitch fit.
Oh, man. Can we talk about Mr. Bitch Fit, by the way? Like, this guy is played by Christopher Eccleston. A dude that I like to watch. Like, he was totally solid in the movie. Like, 28 Days Later. All kinds of... Hell, he's the 9th Doctor. He's Doctor Who. He's a great actor. But he's just, like, bitch face in this movie. Like, he's like the kind of guy who, like, as a kid, you would just like rub in the dirt. You didn't really want to, and you didn't really hate the guy, but you look at him and you're like, man, he kind of needs to get his shit pushed in.
He's definitely the kind of guy he's definitely the kind of guy who's like, I don't know, he would treat you like shit, but if you did anything to him, he'd go to his dad, who happens to be a lawyer or something.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
I couldn't get over the fact that he sounded like old Greg. Everything he said, Nicholas, you're not going to pay off the money. It's about respect, okay? You understand me?
Now let's go see your brother, because there's been a downstairs mix-up.
But
So after a conversation about a mangina, they go downstairs, and like Nick Cage's brother's like in this car crusher, and like this is a very important moment. Like your brother's about to be crushed, but like Nick Cage will not lay off. Like, hey, I asked you a question. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? Like, what kind of pompous asshole is just like, hey, where's my brother? Oh, there he is. Yeah, but you didn't answer my question.
I would expect that you would give me the respect of answering my question. Where's my... Like, I see him. I just want to know the answer.
He literally screaming in the crusher, go!
I've got 4 broken ribs. Please answer my question.
The bad guy's unrelenting, though, because Nick Cage is being a stubborn mule. And he's like, listen, I don't care what you're saying. I'm counting down. It's going to take 30 seconds to crush this dude. And I've already counted to 16. I don't even have to look back to know that that's crushing the seat right now. I can hear it.
All right, so eventually Nick gives in and is like, all right, I'll do it. We'll steal 50 cars in 72 hours. Let's do it. This is where the movie starts, right?
Well, kinda. Like, if you would like to have like a little meter, I would put this movie at 50% right about now. Because it's like, yeah, boys, let's do it. But all the boys are gone.
Yeah, we don't have any boys. Should we set out like some milkshakes?
No, because then it won't bring the girl either.
You need the girl.
Just and girl.
Okay, so let's go over the crew. We got Vinny fucking Jones.
Vinny Jones is in this. I put an exclamation mark right beside his name. I was like, fucking Vinny Jones is in this.
Yeah, can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
He's a silent Bob.
Look, man, his entrance had me like shocked and awed. Like, his character trope is like he doesn't talk, but he's kind of like the muscle, but also kind of brainy at the same time. Extremely useful in a situation like this. But he rolls up like the fucking Terminator, like straight up. Like, he blows up a dude's car, explosion right behind him, and the dude that was giving him a hard time was just like, whatever, I'm gonna kill this fool anyway. I was like, dude, if that happened to me, in that moment, I would realize that I am going to lead the resistance in about 30 years, and this guy's going to take me away.
Are you talking about Master P, with the entrance with Master P? Like, he's there and is like, he's got his like Uzi or whatever. Is like, Nick Cage, I hear your gang has been, trying to steal some cars or whatever. This is my turf. And then Vinnie Jones just shows up and is like, yeah, I just blew up 3 of your cars.
Yeah, and he still had the audacity to be like, I got Uzi.
Yeah. Also, Master P is in this. I guess he's uncredited, but that's Master P.
Oh yeah, he plays a guy named Johnny B. And the whole time in the back of my head is that, does that stand for like Johnny Bitch?
Dude, he cannot act, and they are giving him entirely too many lines.
They give this guy a lot of lines for who he is. Like, he is never like anything that you expect is going to be like a foil or an antagonist or anything. He's just like showing up to slow things down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I agree. Like, nowhere in the runtime of this movie was like, yeah, he's going to be an issue for this like really awesome ending they're going to give me. You're just here to waste my time. And as he's like, sucking his tongue in the car, he's like, hell yeah.
After we got Vinnie Jones, you get the black Rodney Dangerfield character that's used for exposition dumps only,
I guess. But this is where we actually get to meet the woman who is actually second billed in this movie. Angelina Jolie is not in this movie very much for how much she is the face of this movie. Like, Nick Cage is the face, but Angelina Jolie, I feel like, is like the second person you think of when you think of this movie. She is not in it very much.
No. Her time on screen, her time with Nicolas Cage, if they're on scene together, the cameras are swapped. There's a lot of things you can catch where she just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, and in like the little bits where they actually have to share a shot, it's just like this weird uncomfortableness, because like Nick Cage is just like, hell yeah, man, I'm Nick Cage. She thinks I'm attractive. She's just like, yep, these are my lines. Did I mention the pink panties?
Oh, fuck. And he's trying to convince her because everyone else is in, but she's like, no, I'm clean. I'm out. Don't you ever try to get me back in. I'm out. When I'm out, I don't go back in because I'm out. And you need to go because I'm out and you're in.
Can we just go over how non-useful she was? Because like they do that whole like montage of just like, oh, we gotta call everybody, everybody, and they like she's the last on the list, and Robert Duvall's like, I don't know, man, I was in The Godfather. She's a tough one, and and she finally comes in the form and joins the fellas, and she doesn't do anything like ever. No. Like her skills don't add to anything in this movie.
Yeah, you would think she would be, for someone as big as her, you'd think she would be like some sort of utilitarian. But, they go through it. We've got like the electronics guy. We've got the guy who can drive anything. He's our driver. We've got, the hacker guy. Angelina Jolie has a vagina.
Yeah, and someone told her to dress up for the Matrix.
Fuck, dude, you ain't wrong.
No, she's one of those goth kids under the bridge dancing to like KMFDM or something. That's what she is in this.
Techno Vikings just around the corner.
Screaming Lyme disease.
What really blew me away though, this was an actual line. Oh, this is so and so. I'm just going to make up a name because I didn't bother to write it down. Hey, this is Cyber. He does all of our tech stuff. Yep, I do some real crazy stuff. That's in the movie. Like, what do? I do some crazy stuff. Got some stuff. There's some gadgets. Yep.
Yeah.
I can like hack in. It sounds like he's making this up off the top. No one wrote this down, right?
Oh yeah. I think I remember. He's like, oh, I can hack into the DMV and get any information about any car that you need. Haha. Also, I perfected Minesweeper or something.
No, that's a way better line than what he actually says. He's so awkward about it. He's like, yeah, I can hack into like the DMV and like get VIN numbers or change VIN numbers or change the address of like insurance, or I can do any of that
with my crazy stuff.
And the whole time Nick Cage is like dissociating, thinking about Lowrider.
It's like, all right, the crew's going down. Somebody play Lowrider. Y'all still have that on cassette, right?
Oh my god,
man. I don't even want to talk about cassettes in this movie because like there's a really small scene between Robert Duvall and Nick Cage where they're just like listening to the sounds of engines from a Le Mans race from like 71, and he's just like, hell yeah, loud as fuck. It's a car, right? I know that car.
Yeah, that's
you know it's that car because you can hear the car part going vroom vroom when it goes vroom vroom.
Yeah, that's a BMW 728. It's got a straight 6, and so do I.
Oh, no. I like it, though. Now, the whole point is they've got 3 days until the delivery is due, but they're going to do it all in one night. Why? Because Nicolas Cage.
I guess if you steal one or a couple the first night, you'll get some suspicion stirred up, and you don't want that. You want to lay low and then just do it all at once. What? Even though it's going to be a lot of work. I don't know.
I get it. Like, that was something that's crossed my mind the whole time. I'm just like, what kind of investigatory team sees one stolen car and they're just like, wait a minute, this is an entire theft ring, at least 50 cars, we gotta get on this, you know? And all LAPD is just like out there looking for Nick Cage.
But he's currently the one place they wouldn't look. He's at the Ferrari dealership, and this is some of the worst fucking acting I have ever seen come out of Nicolas Cage.
Are you serious? This is the most Nick Cage he is in this entire movie.
That's what I'm saying. It's 100% Vampire Diary or whatever. You know, fucking. I'm a vampire. No, I want a Ferrari. It's that.
I mean, he does show up to the dealership like he's just about to steal the Declaration of Independence. So I'll give him that.
Like, I love the dialogue that he throws around. And by I mean, it's terrible. But I love the dialogue that he throws around here. He's just like, perhaps, yes, shallow and pedantic for sure. While he's there at this little thing, he's like, no, you're wanting like a really high-end old car? We don't have one, but we do have one in the warehouse. Well, what else do you have in the warehouse? And that's where they get like 4 or 5 cars.
True. But like the way it's delivered, he goes from to fuck me eyes.
Yeah, for sure. It's like you got like I don't even know an old car. I don't know.
Okay. There's a shoot-up scene with the rival gang members, and they're trying to get him, and Nicolas Cage escapes for some reason, and he's yelling and screaming, and he looks at the camera and says, "I," real loud.
Oh, yeah, like, okay, yeah, like this rival team with that rapper fella, like they find him again all haphazardly, and they try to Tupac him. So they escape, and they run into this diner, which so happens to have like a couple cops in there just chilling or whatever. And I guess like having cops there is like a big no-no for this like fucking badass.
No, he's on base.
It's fucked, dude. I didn't realize those play yard rules or whatever.
Yeah, you can't get me while I'm on base. Can't get me while I'm on base, man.
And
boo boo.
Yes. And to reiterate, Nick Cage, like, cops are here. You can't get us. I'm gonna say simultaneously over all 3 of us. We just like, boo.
I put a hand over my face and chuckled softly into it.
Almost embarrassed.
I'm sure I just squeezed my lips back like, yikes.
We get a kooky hijink scene where the brother, Giovanni, sneaks out and hooks up a tow truck to the bad guy's car because they're not paying attention. Why would they?
It's like a big tractor trailer, and then Nick Cage goes to start talking to this truck driver. No, he starts just abundantly being Nick Cage at this truck driver.
And it was almost too much for me too, because like the trucker guy just looks like an actual trucker guy, or actually an extra that Nick Cage just wouldn't stop talking to, and they had to put in the movie, that kind of thing. Because like he's fronting on him really hard, and the trucker's just like, man, this guy really wants to fuck me. I gotta get out of here.
If y'all don't like credit me at this point, I gotta call SAG because this guy's too much.
He started bringing up his dinosaur skull and how cool it was. This guy owns an octopus, I guess. I didn't even ask the man.
I just want to walk outside with my cobbler.
He told me he's Johnny Blaze, and I don't know what that means.
That's good. I like that.
He offered me some coffee and said his head was on fire. Then he Elvis kicked me in the shin.
I told him I had twins at home, and he wanted to steal one of them.
All
right, we're done here.
Bring up Raising Arizona. That movie's a fucking national treasure.
Oh! All right, so yeah, this tractor trailer, he gets out of there super quick. He's like, I'm done. I'll get coffee somewhere else. And he scoots out of there, and so does the entire chassis for their BMW.
Yeah, and I know it's like a comic foil kind of thing, but like, the other fellas are outside, so they hook the car to it. The car gets ripped in half. And there was a moment where I'm thinking, as the cops are running out to see what the issue was, are they getting mad at the guy whose car got ripped in half? Like, is that how that ended? Like,
you boys got permits for that?
Yeah, I was like, my car's in half, dude. Like, what?
There's no concern. No, oh my God, are you okay? It looks like that big rig just ripped your car in half. They just immediately run up on him with guns drawn. I knew it was y'all. Now, there's one more little bit before the action ensues. And I want to say action ensues because I know why gearheads probably enjoy this movie. After this point, it turns into just them filming cars driving around.
It's a lot of car porn, and I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of build up, and like during this part, like they finally have like a good portion of everything scoped out, and this is where the movie drops that diamond in the rough. Of course, there's 50 cars from all over the world, all different kinds of rarities, so on and so forth. But this is the car that the movie wants you to put emotional value into, just like Nicolas Cage tried to stick his dick in the car multiple times.
It's a unicorn, and a unicorn with a very nice tailpipe.
Her name's Eleanor.
I mean, it sounds like the name of a librarian, sure, but that car is sexy as fuck.
It is, yeah. This is a 67 Mustang?
GT 500. That is correct, sir.
Some of those are words. I recognize them.
But here's the question, you guys. What do you do to mentally prepare to take on the task that has scared you your entire life?
I don't know, maybe have one of like the goons steal a car that doesn't even belong on the list, just happens to have heroin in it.
Oh, man.
Just happens to be like 15 minutes before the detectives show up, coincidentally.
Oh my God. That was a painful scene. Because like it's a moment in the movie where it's like, uh-oh, shit's fucked. What are we gonna do? And it just goes away as quickly as it comes by. And you're just sitting there like, that was an extremely efficient way of wasting exactly 10 minutes of my time.
Yeah.
Fact.
You do get a little bit more humanity out of these detectives. Again, like, you really don't dislike them. They are the foils of this crew. You know, you've constantly got them on their back while, I don't know, they're doing stuff for the big bad. So, I don't know. It's one of the checks and balances.
I guess so.
It doesn't need to be there, but this little scene where he's in the car just like revving it up. What is this, like an 83 Cadillac something? I don't know. An ugly looking car with a big motor. That's what I know.
Yeah, but like it just comes off as just like the movie implying that like everybody in this film's world is just like a big gearhead. I don't know, just like you said, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be here, and my time was certainly wasted.
Maybe the idea is that like if you put anyone behind an engine that big, they'll get a little bit horny.
Hey, they ain't wrong. I know that sound of that big V8 block engine going. Was doing it for me.
Or they're like trying to be like super whatever about it, saying like, oh, no matter what you look like, you know, under that shroud could be a big block engine.
Speaking of a big block engine, oh wait, I was supposed to go on Shroud, wasn't I? That's okay. I got a big block engine right here. I've got the Shroud from Bravery Brewing out of Lancaster, California. This is a thick boy. This is a big boy. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. 10% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs. This is dark. Ooh. All right, so this has got a lot of like cocoa, a lot of chocolate on the nose. Really well balanced despite how big it is. Lots of like chocolate and coffee. It's not super sweet though. There's a lot of, like I said, 65 IBUs is pretty high for something this dark. And it does a really good job at balancing out all that malty sweetness. It's thick, it's big, it's boozy. Man, this is a meal. It's really good though. I'm not going to say anything negative about it. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's not too sweet. It's not overwhelming. It's just well balanced and solid. No, I like this quite a bit.
Well, your review on that beer is no longer shrouded in mystery.
Ooh.
Hey, let's put on Lowrider.
Like,
oh my God.
Like, is that supposed to be endearing? Like, I get, like, you know, if you're in a position where you have to amp yourself up for something incredibly difficult, you know, put on whatever tunes, Kickstart Your Heart by Motley Crue. That usually gets going. Why not? But, like, he just, like, turns on Lowrider. Like, I guess?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, I guess.
And the movie hangs on it for like, well, a fairly long period, and like the camera's like panning around to all these people, visibly confused. Like there is no way in hell like they knew that was the song going to come out of that jukebox or stereo.
Like it's not just a happenstance moment in the soundtrack. He hits play and is like, "All right, here's where it goes down."
That little pause encapsulates that entire moment.
No, it's even worse because as soon as that happens, you're immediately taken aback. But then you see every actor that isn't Nicolas Cage look at each other and go, what the fuck is happening? There is no way this was planned or they knew what was going down because Angelina can't even keep a straight face.
You think they tried other songs in that spot? You think they were like, you know what? Let's try Thunderstruck first. See how that goes down.
No, I'll be on board with what Brady said way earlier. Like this is all first take.
Fired it up. They went, what? And he goes, let's ride. And then walked off and wouldn't come back to reshoot it. Said it was perfect.
Might as well put on like Easy Like Sunday Morning by the Commodores or something.
Oh, what if he would have been jamming to some Q Lazarus? Goodbye,
yeah. And like, I'm sure the filmmakers used loosely at this point, like had every opportunity in post to just replace it with any song, and they just didn't.
Like, I've been listening to the soundtrack through the movie, and it's pretty good, but Lowrider just really seems out of place to me, and that might be what it's used for. That might be, just a little bit of like de-escalation, maybe.
Oh no! The poor director just has to tell everybody, no, that's the joke. But in reality, Nick Cage hijacked this entire movie.
Fact, you know it because the scene coming up proves it. Nicolas Cage's character up to this point has been a hero. More of a Robin Hood character. He does bad things, but he's not a bad guy.
Right.
And this is all for his brother, the shitbag who got into the life that should have never stepped into those shoes.
I see where you're going.
Yes. And suddenly, Mr. I will do anything for my brother. Mr. I'm going to treat him like a saint. Mr. My mom is at Shoney's and I got to see if it's okay to do these things. Starts tearing into Giovanni Rabisi. And it's not even a character tearing into another character. It's Nicolas Cage throwing a tantrum. And then Giovanni just goes, all right, that's it, and walks off. And they leave that in the film.
Yeah, they do. Like, watching it with the missus, we were both just like, yeah, that seemed real. Like, for a movie that's, like, so obtuse and everything else, I was like, wow, that was, like, a real personal moment that they just put in there? That's character development? I don't know. I feel like he was legitimately harassing the cast.
If you were legitimately harassing the cast, Nick Cage, get at us. Well, we'd love to have you on the cast. Tell us what you were really thinking during this moment.
Tell you what I was thinking, that this montage of theft goes on for entirely too long.
Honestly, no, this was my favorite part of the movie. This is just straight up car porn.
Okay, I'll agree and disagree with both of you. It seems long because the movie hangs on the wrong thing too long. So like everybody's out there doing their business, all these cars getting jacked. It's a really cool montage. And then we have to sit with Nick Cage and Angelina Jolie in a car, just like watching these people fuck and just be weird at each other.
Yeah, there's something resembling flirting going on, but I'm not really sure that you'd really call it that. And then you almost think that they're going to bone.
No, I got zero sexual tension from this scene. Not a fucking bit. She is saying the dumbest shit and laughing. And Nick Cage is over there grinding his hands into that steering wheel.
He's all white-knuckled and flustered, and she's over there just like, so, by the way, this gear shift is my dick.
Dude, it was exactly like the scene from Venture Bros whenever Brock rips off the communist lady's clothes and she has on the chastity belt. And he goes, what? The Cold War is over. And she says, it's always cold in Russia. And he just goes, oh! Stabs the bed.
Beautiful. There is no former KGB.
And she's going, bro, this is acting.
Yeah, she's just teasing him.
And the movie almost is self-aware at that point and knows this scene is a little too awkward just to keep on them. So like it'll like occasionally just flash back to the couple in their house like screwing around. Just like, oh, okay, she's undressed now. That's interesting. Back to them in the car just being like, bleh.
Yeah, it gives you a brief moment to like almost see a titty, and then you're thrown back to like, I don't know, this awkward scene inside what is this, a Hemi or something? What is this?
I don't know. But like, I would just feel like this negative sexuality in this scene.
Because think about this. This is a woman who can have chemistry enough with a man to start Billy bobbing all over fucking town. Sucking throats, wearing blood, and just being all around ignorantly public display of affection every 2 seconds.
So you're saying that, like, after this scene, Cage was just like, oh, I knew I should have worn her blood on my body.
Yes! You know, he's gonna, like, turn into the scene from Mandy.
Oh, guys, man. I feel gross right now. Let's move on. This is gross. I'm gross. Ugh.
Okay, well, it's cringy, and then we get more shit with the Youngbloods stealing stuff from the impound.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they get like 4 cars right off the bat there.
In their awful character fashion, like, these guys are out there doing their best. I don't know, but they start, like, fucking up again. Like, the whole reason why this movie was put into motion.
Oh, is this when, like, one of the guys gets lost in the suburbs? How do you get lost in the LA suburbs?
That's the exact line they said in the movie. Like, it's the guy from Ready to Rumble. He's just driving. He's like, I don't know. LA's just so dang big. And everyone's just like, dude, what the fuck? You got us here.
Yeah, but also in the course of this montage, because this is all just like a big montage, we get fucking Dr. Kelso from Scrubs who gets like a Cadillac or something stolen from him. And he's just like, oh, okay, sport, that's fine. Here's my keys. Don't be too rough on it.
Winky face.
And winky face, yeah. And the guy's just like, oh, I won't. Thank you, sir. Goodbye. You'll never see this car again in your life.
I did get a little bit of a chuckle of him just like telling his volume of a wife just to get the fuck out.
That sounds about right. That's on character. Somewhere during all this, by the way, we've got like, I don't know, 6 hours left. There's a little timer that pops up every few minutes, and it's written in a font that is very reminiscent of like XXX. And there's something that, I don't know, gets thrown in there. There's a dog for whatever reason, and it eats keys. It ate 3 keys. This doesn't matter at all. Why does this exist?
Because this movie has to be exactly 2 hours, and they achieved it.
My note for that entire thing says dog poop Latinos.
Yeah. I almost forgot. Michael Pena shows up for one scene.
Is that him? Is he the Cholo fella?
Yeah, that's Michael Pena. Like, they're out there walking their dog, trying to get him to poop out these 3 Mercedes keys. Michael Pena and his Cholo friends show up, and they're like, hey, S.A., why you in my hood? And they're just like, I'm just walking my dog. And it's like, hey, I told you not to be so up in my hood. It's like, I'm walking my dog. He's pooping. And fucking Frank from Donnie Darko goes up and is like, hey! Starts digging in the poop. It's like, hey, I got the keys. Let's go. He's like, oh, well, that's nasty. S.A., let's go.
Like, the movie tries to throw in, like, those street gang foils to the whole thing, and it's just like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll never see that again.
No. Yeah, that's just 5 minutes that don't need to be included.
But hey, everything comes to a head. We finally get to car 50. The sexual car. The Shelby GT. This is the car that Nick Cage has to stroke furiously before he just gets in.
I get it. That's a good-looking car.
It's just so fucking weird with the talking and the rubbing, and then he's kind of stuttering, and he's the best driver in the world, but just because he's behind the wheel of this car, he can't drive right. He immediately starts tearing it up.
Man, once again, if you've ever played Grand Theft Auto, and you start a mission and you're immediately busted by the cops, it's annoying.
Yeah.
So this is the car to not only get his brother off of like whatever awful death that he might incur. Like, this is it. Like, this is the climax of the movie. The moment he gets on the road, woo! There he is. Get him.
He gets the yips. Is that what
5
it is?
stars.
The yips. Yeah. Well, like, okay, the Timothy Olyphant character and Detective Castlebeck, they know. They're like, hey, I know this guy. I've seen Nick Cage in movies before. He's afraid of this 67 Mustang. This is going to be the last one that he steals. I know, because he's afraid of it. Let's put some people on it. And they do. And that's where we get the last 25 minutes of this film.
Yep. The back half hour of this movie is just a car chase featuring all of the LAPD and Nick Cage.
Yeah. And
a GTA ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw that, I wrote down, well, we know where this is going. Because why wouldn't you?
And it's fucking wild. I love the last bit of this movie. It's like pre-Fast and Furious, but like right in that like early 2000s editing craze where it's quick, but it's not too absurd.
So why hasn't there been a Grand Theft Auto major motion picture? Why hasn't that been turned into like a trilogy? Because I feel like this is the start of that.
I don't know if the world can handle like Trevor fucking a teddy bear on the big screen, but
I know I can.
I was going to say, that sounds like something I'd watch.
Just cast fucking Billy Bob Thornton or something. He'll do it.
Just cast the guy, Stephen Ogg.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot. Like, that's pretty much the same guy. Yeah, absolutely. Trevor, get at us.
He will. He fucking will.
Oh, shit. Now, Nicolas Cage is chased by the air unit, by every single cop. And guess what? He gets away after doing a GTA jump where you physically watch that car get destroyed. You watch the fucking axle of this bitch just snap in half.
Yeah.
And then it just drives away.
It's total Dukes of Hazzard style. Like, coolest car in the world, takes a ramp, flying through the air. It's probably like, what, a football field distance across a bridge? And the car eats shit. But movie magic fixes everything immediately, and he just gets the fuck out of town.
The amount of airtime that he gets off this little ass ramp is phenomenal. Like, that defies all physics.
Man, I feel like if he were to ask him about that scene, he's like, yeah, we actually did that.
I'm sure he would
go,
yeah,
man, you did, but you didn't do it.
You didn't.
Then he would reach into his pocket for a peach, and he would tell you how long it would take to eat.
Oh my god.
There's no casual conversation with the man.
I thought you were going to say he was going to reach into his pocket and take out a thing of vampire teeth and bite me.
No, he already has them in.
Oh god, he's just coming at me. I'm a vampire.
Oh shit.
Oh god. And now he gets there 5 minutes late or whatever, and the guy's like, no, fuck it, I don't want it now. You know why? Because whatever.
Yeah.
And, there's still like a big container ship out there. Like, it's still right there. You could just drive this car right into it. Number 50, you'll be fine. Mission complete.
See, well, you can't bring that up, especially in a moment like this, because that legitimately deflates the whole fucking movie. And the movie doesn't even
5 minutes late though, so like I'm gonna kill you.
But the movie doesn't even smell the whole bullshit regarding the time, because like we'll talk about it, but there's like a whole scuffle, and even after all that, the ship's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a scuffle, man, oh man, the villain is a way better actor than Nicolas Cage, number one, and why they decided to make Nicolas Cage really try to fight this guy, number one, by smashing furniture.
I guess the guy's like a wood file or something. I don't know what the word is.
Wood file? He's a chisel.
Dude really likes like handmade wood furniture. I don't know. He gets really upset when you break it.
That shit is so contrived. The whole reason why his character has any kind of character development with the woodworking is so the movie can have an explanation of why he has a coffin in his office.
It's straight up like the end of Men in Black when Will Smith is like stepping on the little roaches and it's like, oh, was that your auntie? Yeah, it's the same way, except this guy is really wood horny.
Dude, I started to fucking laugh. You got wood for wood.
All right.
I started to laugh because they're chasing him around in what looks like the fucking air processing facility from Aliens. And whenever the bad guy doesn't see him hanging there, how?
The script telling him not to. Like, that's the only thing that I can bring up, because like Nick Cage is completely visible. Like, this is just like grates and girders. Like, that's Nick Cage right there. Look, he's right there.
But he doesn't see him hanging there, and the cop, the detective shows up for whatever reason, and he goes, Nicolas Cage, I'm here to save/arrest you. And the bad guy says, hey, I'm the bad guy and I'm going to shoot you in the face. And Nick Cage says, this is Sparta! And kicks him off fucking
the fuck you will. Yeah, he knocks him off. Like, I'm determined that this is actually the origin story for the Joker. This is tied into all the Batman movies. He is knocked over into like a pit of acid, and that's how it happens.
That would be cool, though. But the movie needs that little contrivance to come back. So, like, what does he do? He falls into his own coffin and dies. Wow.
Does he really?
That's a cinematic masterpiece.
Does he fucking really do that? I'm that.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. It's perfect.
You say poetry, I say that's dumb as hell. But okay.
Whenever he fucking plummets into it, he smashes through glass and then into the coffin, and I went, good God, he's broken in half.
He just fell off the Hell in a Cell.
Good God.
And the cop says, hey, you saved me, now we buddies. And we get a Jane's Addiction cookout.
Oh, this is definitely the family moment of this movie.
Yes.
Because this ends exactly how every Fast and Furious movie ends. Just the entire cast around a table, cookout time, and the silent guy gets a quip.
Yeah, this is straight up like Silent Bob's little fucking thing at the end of Clerks. You know, there's 1,000 fine-ass women in the world, but not all of them bring you lasagna to work. This is straight up that. Vinnie Jones finally says something, and it's brilliant.
To close it out, you know, that brotherly love has to be there. Giovanni walks in and goes, here, bro, I got you a car. And he goes, you bought me a car? Oh, my God, we're such good friends. And it's fucking Roadkill from Twisted Metal.
But we're not friends. Yeah. But we're not friends. We're family.
Scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out he sold his chopper and got him a beat as fuck 67 Mustang. Eleanor. It's the same.
And that's kind of it. The movie kind of just pans up and you just see like Los Angeles as if it were like a character in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, there's not a whole lot of like the big Los Angeles landmarks that you see. It's more like South LA. That's like the scummy skeezy part, and like Long Beach area that doesn't really have any big recognizable characteristics, but it's LA. You know, we saw the LA River before, so you know it's actually LA. We drove through it and shit, so put that on the IMDb.
So for me, this movie is so fucking bad, but I love going, what? And just having that moment of just surreal goofiness that the best way to describe it is you're watching a fucking indie movie shot on a gigantic budget. That's all it is.
Yeah, to me, I actually enjoyed this way more than I expected to. Nobody gives like a great performance or anything. Don't get it twisted. There's also like not great dialogue either. But the action scenes are really fun. There's a lot of car porn. And I'll tell you, I'm not really a car guy, but this movie kind of makes me want to be a car guy. It's enticing. But yeah, overall, honestly, I really enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again before too long. It's enjoyable. It really is. It's stupid, but it's enjoyable.
I'm going to be on board with both you fellas because I am well aware of the dumpster fire that is this movie. The dialogue is just all sorts of hot ass. The characterisms are just trash. You can tell that no one wants to be in the same room as Nick Cage. And Nick Cage is treating this movie as if he's about to win an Oscar for it. It is insane. Like, watching this movie feels like you are on set and just like eating popcorn, just like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. What's going to happen next? But at its best, it's a killer car movie. And the back half of this movie is a lot of fun. It turns into like Ocean's 11 with cars with some cringe sprinkled in. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Actually, I don't know that I could agree with that more. All of that is 100% right.
Well, there you have it. That was Gone in 60 Seconds from 2000 specifically. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to hit the bell icon too, so you know next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on our social media. We got all sorts of it. We got Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. We got YouTube, of course. Don't forget, thanks to the Anchor app, we're out here on Apple Podcasts and fucking Spotify. Check us out. If you don't, we'll probably be gone in 60 seconds.
No, we're going to be here forever.